Alrighty, you guys, so when it comes to Hitsugaya and Momo, I do want to take a look at their kit. Now, there's a lot to look into, so in terms of, and on top of that, as you guys can see, I'm still working on him. Haven't touched Momo. I don't know, I can probably get Momo up a little bit, but bro, working on a character with the amount of stamina we got to work with, they need to please look into that. Please look into that. But we do have his full kit, so we're going to take a look at Hitsugaya. We're also going to take a look at Momo, see their kit, see what we're working with in terms of their moves and whatnot. And then, yeah, that will then give me a little bit more time, and then we can get Hitsugaya working. Because technically speaking, I can run the Hitsugaya, Urahara, and Rukia team, so we'd have to run with that. We'll start things off with his weapon banner, because why not? I mean, his weapon banner, what? His weapon. So I'm pretty sure, yeah, okay, so pretty much this weapon and what it does is, first things first, it gives him a critical rate increase of 30%, which is massive. We'll take that. On top of that, I believe when he's in his Bankai state, he gets a 25% damage reduction, and his normal attacks get enhanced to some form of Ice Dragon Frenzy, Ice Dragon Dance attack, and with that, your attacks won't be interrupted, and you actually get a 50% increase. So you get a 25% damage reduction when you're in your Bankai state. You get 30% critical hit rate. That's base. That's kind of given to you straight off. Fantastic. Your attacks cannot be interrupted, and you get 50% increase in damage. This weapon, this weapon engraving just practically gives you the whole package. So that's huge. That's huge. So that's kind of like getting that out of the way. Now let's just dive straight on in to see on what we're working with his kit, because I am eager to know. I think this is just going to be straight up damage, to be honest. I'm not really seeing, because yeah, this is going to be, wait, is this the ultimate attack, or is this going to be the Bankai state? Okay, so you cover your entire body with ice, you can fly around, all your attack moves will be replaced with stronger moves. Cool. Let's have a look. So we're doing, so this is level 7, so we're doing 1900 damage, 1932. Next up will be 2000 mark. Okay. Consuming all the ice crystals. Each ice crystal consumed will provide an additional 6% damage multiplier. After releasing this skill, the Bankai state will be released. Oh, okay, so we can kind of stack up additional damage increase by consuming the crystals, and each crystal will provide us with a 6% increase. Okay, cool. Alright, well, that's not too bad. I'll take the increase of damage. Alright, so moving on to his next skill now. So pretty much this is more so on the offensive. So creates a large amount of broken ice and smashes it forward, doing 183 damage. Obviously we can accumulate a vast amount of our spiritual pressure value, which is fantastic, but by doing this we are also inflicting points, freeze values towards the enemy. After generating a certain amount of freeze values, we can release the skill in an icicle area will be generated in front of him. Then the icicle will explode, doing 2.5 seconds of damage. In total it will be 117% damage because it's at level 7. And then once again, enemies in the areas will also be inflicted with the 5 points of freeze value, accumulating again my spiritual pressure. So it's kind of like a continuous cycle, essentially, is what I'm trying to get at. Alright, cool. What's the next thing? What we've got going on? More damage? Okay, we'll take that. So we kind of leap forward, dive down, and smash towards the enemy, doing 404. Is this the Bankai state? I think it is. No, this is his spiritual pressure when it's capped. Okay, cool. And then with that, because we're doing so much damage, being 404% damage, we're also applying 10 points of freeze value towards the enemy. Fantastic. And then once we enter Bankai state, then the normal attack will be replaced with a more hard-hitting attack. Fantastic. Okay, so, and the final part to this skill, I believe this is when we, I think this is when we do the Bankai state and we build up the spiritual pressure, because then the skill itself actually does get a little bit of an enhancement. So that makes sense with this one doing a little bit more damage, being 449. This will also apply 10 points of freeze value during the release of this combat skill. Hitsugaya will enter an invincible state and click the seal button to release a seal attack. Oh yeah, I think that's the more enhanced version of the attack. Okay, cool. So some attacks will apply freeze value to enemies. When accumulated to 100 points, the enemies will enter a frozen state in which they cannot act, lasting 2 seconds. So the 5 points and the 10 points, we are accumulating it to the 100 mark to freeze the enemy. That makes sense. Alright, just quickly want to take a look at the normal attack. So let's have a look. So he does 5 stages of damage, 994% damage. Each time the attack hits, it will charge an ice crystal, so that's an extra 6% per ice crystal. Fantastic. When dodging or blocking, the number of stages of this attack will not be reset. When the continuous attack is interrupted, then the state that we're in will be released. I believe that is either that's talking about the Bunkai state or the enhanced state of the attack itself. It's one of those two. And then obviously when we're in the Bunkai state, then we're pretty much keeping our distance. We're flying around, doing 5 stages of damage, 528% damage in total for level 7, stacking a layer of Ice Branch along with Ice Crystal. Wow. Yeah, and we're always on the move too with the normal attacks, which is fantastic to kind of, you know, keep away from the enemy as well as doing damage. So yeah, that's going to be fantastic. All right, let's see what the passives are looking like. This is where my boy Hitsugaya might shine the most. Let's have a look. When Winterline releases normal attack, Ice Dragon Dance normal attack, Big Red Lotus, Flock of Icebird's Icicle, combat skill. So basically, when we do anything with Hitsugaya, it will be charged. When the charging reaches a certain level, 1 ice crystal will be obtained up to 8. Okay. Oh, that makes sense. The number of ice crystals will be displayed in the form of a cross on the left side of the health value. When Winterline releases the ultimate move, it will consume all ice crystals. For each piece consumed, the damage caused will increase by 6%. So pretty much, just by doing anything with Hitsugaya, that will give us an ice crystal. So in total, by stacking up 8, we can get an increase of a 48% increase in damage. 48%. So that's pretty hefty if you ask me, and I love the fact that it's kind of with everything that he has, so we can keep on the consistency of the offensive, build up the ice crystals, and then when we're ready to nuke, we can get that extra 48%. So that's fantastic. Can't complain on that one. Happy days on that one. Okay, so when in the Bunkai state, Hitsugaya releases a normal attack while moving. This will gain 1 Red Lotus layer up to a maximum of 5 layers. We'll see what that is in just a second. When Hitsugaya releases a special move, all Red Lotus will be consumed. Each time a layer is consumed, the spiritual damage caused will have an increase of 3.5%. If 5 layers of Red Lotus are consumed, the spiritual pressure will be accumulated to the maximum value immediately after the Bunkai state ends. Okay. Oh wait, I don't even need to translate that because it's 3.5 per. Okay, that's fine. Damn. So not only have we got the crystals to work off from to build that up to give us more damage, but now we've got these Red Lotuses to kind of help us out. All right, what is this? So the second passive, when entering the Bunkai state, each ice crystals will provide 5% of the ultimate energy, and the ultimate move will repeat within 20 seconds. Increase of damage of the special move by 45%. Oh wow, okay. Damn. Alright, yeah, we'll take that. Hey, ultimate support right here. Nice. Can't complain on that one. Fair play, fair play. Oh my god, what is this? I'm seeing so many percentage plays right now. Jesus Christ, Hitsugaya, what are you doing? For every 1% critical hit rate that his guy has damage caused by the normal attacks. Wait, what? For every 1% critical hit rate for Hitsugaya, the damage caused by his normal attacks increases by 1.12%. With an upper limit of 45%. Oh, we're going to crit this man out. What? We're going to crit this man out. What the hell? So, his kit right now is looking really promising. Because, of course, like I said, he does have enhanced attacks as we're building up his spiritual pressure. There's a lot going on with Hitsugaya. And he's got things in the works with the Red Lotus and the Icicles that we can build up and do more damage. Effectively in his Bunkai state, I would say, to drop off the nuke, his ult, as I like to say. But this is exactly what the blue typing needed in terms of there was no real firepower, and he's coming in with the heat. This is exactly what we needed. Like I can't really say much on that one. Right, I just quickly want to run through his dupes. See what the dupes are looking like. Alright, so what's the first dupe? When entering Bunkai state, immediately obtain 3 ice crystals, and you get a damage increase of 20%. Yeah, that's the first dupe, bro. That's the first dupe. What is this? Well, that first dupe already held a ton of value. After each combat skill and seal attack, the critical hit rate. Oh, there it is. There it is. Increased by 16%, lasting 8 seconds. The effect can be stacked up to 2 times. For a second there, I thought they were going to kind of con us and be like, oh yeah, you can only do it once, but nope. We got a little bit of stacking going on, which is exactly what we want. Okay, his dupes are looking really powerful right now. I'm not gonna lie, he is looking very powerful with these dupes right now. What's this? Damage caused by combat skills. Yeah, so damage caused by combat skills, Frozen Poison, Frost Rising Dragon, Big Red Lotus, increased by 130%. Oh, that's his enhanced attack. Oh my god. Okay. Damn. He's really dropping the bombshell when you kind of max out his spiritual pressures. Okay. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's his I think that's the third dupe in. Jesus Christ, or fourth dupe, whatever. Alright, and then the final dupe. When the battle begins, the player's own spiritual pressure is immediately filled. The critical damage of the special move is increased by the value equal to the current Red Lotus layers. 30% when consuming Red Lotus. Each layer consumed increases the damage of normal attacks by 40% for 8 seconds. Jesus. Oh, I've got a tough time on what I want to do now, because I'm just like, do I go all in for Ichigo, or do I try and max out Hitsugaya? Because Hitsugaya looks really good right now. Oh my god, he looks so good on paper. All right, let me see what his okay, I assume this is just going to be providing more crits, right? So let's have a look. The maximum number of ice crystals has been increased to 12. Oh my god. Okay, each ice crystal increases the critical damage of the special move by an additional 5%. Normal attacks deal with 50% more damage to targets with freeze value, and will additionally charge the ice crystals when hitting. Wow. Wow. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, Rukia, you are a staple for this team. You are a staple for this team. Wow. Damn, this card is actually really good for him. Jesus Christ. Okay, yeah, we'll take that. So that's his full kit. He looks, and yeah, on paper right now with how his kit is looking, he's looking good, boys. This is a DPS unit that we needed for the blue typing. This is a tough call to make now, because Loki, he sounds fire. Now, I do want to, well, I am going to work on him as much as possible before the game goes offline, right? Because, you know, after this beta, we're going to be going into the release state of the game itself. I really need to truly get a good feel for this unit. Obviously, he's not going to be nowhere near my Ichigo, because obviously he's going to be at 40k plus power level by the time I'm finished with him. So I've got dupes onto him. But if Hitsugaya is anywhere close to him, then yeah, I might have to go all in for the blue boys, for the blue typing, you know. But yeah, Hitsugaya with his full kit, he sounds pretty disgusting. And if you dupe him out, Jesus Christ, it's a GG. Okay, wow, very impressed, very impressed. Exactly what blue typing needed, because like I said, no firepower. Let's take a little gander of Momo. Okay, so looking at the ultimate, so it seems that obviously there's going to be initial damage being dealt. That's fine, but there's some sort of I guess basically she puts something on the field, and if the enemy gets near it and they ignite it, then the entire team gets 2 layers of insight. And basically what that is that we get a total of a 10% bonus of total damage increasing, and that is for 30 seconds. So that's the trade-off. Unfortunately, it's not something that we can gain the minute we use the skill. The enemy has to trigger the skill in order for us to get the bonus. Okay. Okie dokie. I mean, that's not too horrible, because the enemies do rush you, so that's not bad. If there was any other harder criteria, then maybe that would have been a horrible thing. But only 10%. What's this? When she drops her Kaido web at the target for 15 seconds, branch attacks, seal attacks, and special moves come into contact with Kaido web, it will ignite and explode, dealing 50. Oh, okay, so we can ignite it ourselves. Okay, that's interesting. If the target is too far away, it will be deployed in front of Momo. There can only be 1 ghost net on the field at a time. Okay, that's fine. Oh, beautiful. All right. So it seems that with how this character is working is that we're kind of sending out some form of ghost net, Kaido net. I think that's the terminology that they're using here on translation. And either the enemy triggers it by going into it, or by the looks of it, we can trigger it by attacking it, exploding it, doing a little bit of damage towards the enemy, but more importantly, we will then gain the extra 10%. I'll have to test that out, because it's either the enemy has to trigger it for us to get the 10%, or if we trigger it, we get the 10%. No, we won't get the 10%, sorry. So if it is falling under the condition of the enemy having to trigger it, then that's going to be a bit of a pain in the ass, because I would much rather have it we triggering it. But yeah, it doesn't state that when we trigger it, we get the bonus. So I think it's only conditioned to where if the enemy triggers the Kaido net. Ooh, okay. I mean, Momo isn't looking too great right now. I'm gonna keep it real. Come on, Momo, you got this. I believe you can bring it back. All right, what's the passive doing? Let's have a look. Branch attack, special moves and counters will ignite the ghost web when they come into contact, causes damage to nearby enemies and provides. Oh no, yeah, okay, there we go. Okay, perfect. So yeah, so even if we trigger it, we can enable the insight buff. Okay, that's fine. Each time ghost net is ignited, its duration will be increased by 5 seconds. Oh wait, each time. I was gonna say a flat out 10% is disgustingly bad. I mean, if we've got Urahara, that's who we're gonna be catering to, which we still are, by the way, because we want that crit bonus. But the fact that we can apply it multiple times and kind of layer it up, that's the incentive to how we utilize that character. Because you've got to keep in mind the insight layer for 5% per is on for 30 seconds. So if we can stack it up and we're getting an increase of 5 seconds per, then it works out actually pretty nicely. Alright, moving over to the other passive. When insight is greater than or equal to 3 levels, the team's damage is, or the team's spiritual damage, sorry, is increased by by an additional 13.5%. So not only are we getting the 15%, right, if we apply it 3 times, because we can, and we've got enough time to do so, we then get the additional 13.5%. Oh, okay. Oh, damn. Alright, so can't complain. That's a decent increase. And then lastly, with the final passive, on what we're working with, when it comes to Momo's special move energy acquisition efficiency, it's increased by 15%. Oh, hey, yeah, fantastic. That's going to help us out more in terms of being able to get some chip damage off alongside having that field play going on. Okay, so realistically, this is a kind of offensive trap setting type of buffer. We just have to kind of trigger our trap to then get the buff, so we can stack that up. There's passives to where we can accumulate additional increase for the whole squad to do more damage. So as we, well, when we level up the passive and whatnot, then we can quite easily get an extra plus 30%. So not too bad, not too bad. I wouldn't say this is horrible. This isn't too bad. I guess this is a decent alternative to kind of cater to the blue mono and those that don't have Urahara. So there you go, there you go. What are the dupes looking like? Let's have a look, because she is a SR. So the maximum number of layers of insight is increased to 6 layers. W, so that's going to help us out, getting more damage going. Oh wait, 6 layers, so what's that, 30 plus the additional, so yeah, way, oh yeah, 45. Hopefully it pushes to 50. That'll be a W. Looking at the next dupe, Momo will not be unable to fight when receiving fatal damage, but will immediately recover 50% of the maximum health and gain 3 layers of insight. This effect can be triggered once every 180 seconds. Oh, whoa, hold on a minute. What? She got like a revival state? What? Yeah, I just had to double check that, but yeah, no. So after receiving the fatal damage, she will immediately recover 50% of her maximum HP, and then yeah, you just pretty much gain 3 layers of insight. So it's kind of like that last push of getting some extra damage going in. Okay, fair enough. Alright, so moving along to her couple of dupes in. Branch attacks caused by, was it Dancing Plume Blossom? I guess this is one of her skills. Is increased by 100%. Don't care. I would have preferred for it to be support, my guy, but it is what it is. It is what it is. And then lastly, when it comes to the final dupe, the explosion caused by the ghost net igniting is increased by an amount equal to the current insight level. What was it, 10% per? Oh, 10%, okay. If the insight level reaches the upper limit, the explosion damage is increased by an additional 30%. Okay, so it just kind of helps out on getting those extra bit of chip damage off. I would have hoped for them to kind of increase the value of the insight, but it is what it is. So yeah, the dupes aren't anything too crazy as they go along. I mean, again, chip damage is not too bad, but yeah, the initial dupes will help out in terms of allowing you to get more damage for your squad, aka in this case Hitsugaya. So that's her kit. We have to look at her weapon engraving, so let me just quickly check that out. Alright, so we found her weapon engraving. Again, it's all given for free, so what we're looking at, Momo will gain double the amount of stacks when she gains insight. Okay, each layer of insight increases the spiritual pressure damage by an additional 1%. Oh, is this for her? Okay, yeah, this is for her. Okay, Momo will gain double the number of stacks when she gains insight. Damn. I was really hoping for that to be for everyone, but it's only for her. So she can gain double the amount of insight, whereas the whole team will just get that singular amount, basically the 6, if we get the first dupe, that is, which we should, if we get lucky. But okay, I would really hope that the doubling side of it would be for everyone. That would be pretty dope. Okay, I mean, it's not too horrible of a weaponry card. And then in terms of her engraving that she gets, damage caused by special moves increased by 35%. When releasing a special move, the whole team gains a critical rate increase equal to the current insight level 2.5, which lasts for 15. Oh, okay. Well, there's a little bit of a bonus. I was gonna say they've got. I was hoping that they'll do something for Hitsugaya here, because I feel like there's gonna be some form of correlation, and it's primarily with her stamping engraving. So that's something that we're gonna have to get that if that's something that you want to utilize. But yeah, overall not too horrible, not too bad, I would say. Yeah, she's a fairly mid, somewhat okayish support for the blue typing, and just in general as a support unit, of course. We'll definitely need a full kit to kind of get something cooking with her. I mean, to be fair, I don't think her weapon engraving will be needed as much, because I'm not gonna lie, I probably will not really cater to weapon engraving and just kind of utilize a weapon engraving that provides more support for my team. I don't think I really would want this, to be fair. So I think that's one change which I would make, but for everything else I think that's fine. But yeah, not too bad of a support. Nothing too crazy though, unfortunately. Nothing too crazy, but like I said, with alternative choices, you know, she's an option. She's a offensive trap setting buffer, there you go, for the team. And again, she can quite easily get at the very least an easy 45% for your whole squad to do more damage. That's kind of like what we can work towards if we level her up and whatnot. So that's dope as hell. And then of course once we get the stamp card, that's when we're cooking with gas. And then in terms of the weaponry card, we can probably push an extra like 8-10% for the team to get more increased damage. So yeah, not too bad on Momo, but Hitsugaya is where it's at. So I'm gonna keep working on him. I need to work on his attack, because his HP is at 11k. Jesus Christ, what the hell. So I need to give him more attack, but yeah, we'll get there, but just kind of wanted to go over their kits. But Hitsugaya right now on paper sounds ferocious.